Alright. Seems like the teens have a plan for us. Let's move. Ether on demand. Ere I forget, I believe Moonbreeda has requested a gathering of the Scions. I assume there's been some progress concerning our efforts to combat the Askians. Pray inform her that our business with the Ishgardians is concluded for the moment. I shall be along once I've completed my communications with the Crystal Braves. Where is the Moonbreeder? We've also dropped back down to 1920 by 1080 resolution because I didn't like the way it was tanking my frame rate during combat. Yeah, we've heard those before. Moonbreeder. All done with your talk of dragons? Wonderful, because Askians are next on the menu. Let's head into the solar, shall we? Certainly, Moonbreeder. Yeah, my view of her is very different, perhaps just because I recall how this shakes out pretty well. But even apart from that, I think I regard her more charitably now. My initial impression of her when I first played was unduly harsh, even knowing only what there was to know at the time. Crunch. Who's there? Sorry, y'all voiced, or am I gonna get to do a bunch of funny voices?
Now that everything's
Ooh, it's
calmed down a
voiced.
bit, relatively speaking, I mean, I thought it might be a good time to share our progress on the weapon.
How's R&D?
I believe we're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Whoa, I didn't have to do shit for
Don't
once.
keep us all in suspense.
Does she have parallel neck tattoos? That's pretty cool, I guess. I wonder if they do
Just in
anything.
case anyone's forgotten, let's start
Yes,
with what
PowerPoint.
you already know. So, an Ascian is an immortal because its soul doesn't return to the ethereal realm when its host is defeated.
I love this shit.
Instead, it flees to the place that lies between our world and the void.
The double void.
Therefore, the first step to
intervoid.
permanently defeating an Ascian is preventing its soul from making this journey. And if you recall, when we last gathered here, I had verified that white auracite has adequate capacity to entrap the beings, albeit only briefly.
Which left the small matter of their extermination.
So this is not achieved by the Echo. We have confirmation of that at least now.
Concentrated burst or blade of purest ether.
We had to give it a cooler name.
Wanted for both the data and the means to forge such a weapon.
But you've been busy off screen, right?
Experimenting on an actual Ascian, you see. There's no way to gauge how much ether its soul is made of.
I guess it needs to be
As such,
commensurate.
we don't know what etheric density our blade needs to have in order for it to work.
Let's just overdo it. Bring in
So we just have to
the
make the densest we can and hope for the
etherical
best.
fission.
Though that would require a lot of ether.
Yeah,
Hang on a minute.
when you're setting
Why
your...
didn't we think of this before? White auracite can hold an absolute heap of ether, can't it?
We've discussed this so many times. I guess it's been many months between in
Please tell me
patches.
you're joking. God's sakes, Ida. I feel as though I'm reliving the same scene over and over with you. How many times do you need to be told that white auracite cannot store ether for long
You
periods?
tell her, Papa. Go for it, Daddy.
Being intangible matter, ether is given to dispersion. Only in its crystallized form is it a stable source of energy. I will test you later on this, so see to it you do not forget.
Right, yes. It's all coming back to me.
Mm-hmm. Listen, as I say, it's been
So our
months
hopes
since
rest on gold
2.4.
crystals again, do they? While they are certainly reliable, they leave something to be desired in the area of portability.
You're carrying them, Thancred. Big T.
I am reminded of the quantity of corrupted crystals required to thwart Leviathan, and the extraordinary lengths to which the Lamentsons went to transport them.
Just load in the
Also
art
to
assets.
prove that a similar quantity was needed to destroy an Ascian's soul, or still more.
I
Well,
do not envy the poor Sawdust to lug all of that around on the off chance that an Ascian appears.
I really like the way that we're focused on the logistics of this.
That's
Like
the very
we've
problem
taken a
we set out to
theoretical...
solve. And I reckon we've found the answer. If it isn't practical to lug around the ether we need, we'll just have to draw upon another source.
Because it's magic, so they make it all up. But then we have a
And
very
the only
practical
viable
problem
source is the land.
of something that needs to
If you
physically
need
be
to
moved
tap
from
the
one
great
place to
river of
another.
ether, know that that it will
That's
entail
good.
considerable risk. Meddling with the currents may well induce a surge like to the one which despoiled Mordona.
Give me a bit more credit, will you? Why would we need to tap the river when there are veritable reservoirs jutting out all over the land? Aye, I speak of corrupted crystals.
That's just
It
a
might be that their
screenshot.
aspect is out of balance.
The
but
low
a
res
crystal's
one.
A crystal. It contains ether, and we can help ourselves to it.
While corrupted crystals are indeed abundant, there is no guarantee that they will be in close proximity at a crucial moment.
Could we really just
But
convert them
what if
directly
we
into
don't
ether we
need
can
them to
use,
be?
though?
What if we could tap their power from afar? A mile away, say?
That's just a mile, right?
If
Or a
we could
kilometer?
do that, we'd have ready access to ether aplenty in almost every corner of Eorzea.
Ah, I see, but the corrupted crystals are everywhere, so it's not a specific one that you're setting it
I've
up
yet
for.
to
It's
put my theories to the proof, but I've got a good feeling about this. If no one has any objections, I'd like to see where this avenue leads.
if you're learning how to make wireless energy in this world,
If you
it
think
would
worth
be
your
incredible in
while,
our
you have my
world.
blessing.
Basically
tell us,
impossible, but
What are your theories? I, for one, am most eager to understand the process, however vaguely.
I thought you might say that, but no one wants to listen to boring old theories all day, do they? I know I don't. So with your permission, I'd like to try something a bit more hands-on. I've already built an etheric siphon especially for this purpose, and I've been meaning to try it out. Thing is,
So I'm
the
just gonna
profusion
need
of
everyone
corrupted
else to
crystals in
leave the
Mordona makes it
room.
something of a high-risk testing ground. If anything goes awry with the siphon, it would be better if it didn't happen within spitting distance of quite so much ether.
well, fortunately for you, I can both teleport and fly.
Ideally,
Please point
I
me
need an
to
isolated
any
specimen.
corner of
Does
the
anyone
realm.
know where I can find one?
I've spent 70 hours in
May
this
I
world.
suggest
Ooh,
northern Thanalan? There you will find corrupted crystals of middling size, standing a reasonable distance apart. Ideal for your needs, I should have thought. Oh, and if you do elect to visit the place, I should be much obliged if you would assist me in another matter while you are in the area.
of course, of course. Listen, I stand for obedience and
happened?
nothing else.
Movement has been observed at Castrum Meridianum. During Operation Archon, the Alliance dealt the stronghold a heavy blow. Its facilities were extensively damaged, and its garrison reduced to a fraction of its former strength. Not long after our forces withdrew, however, their ranks were replenished by reinforcements from Castrum's sentry. They now seek to rebuild, and to this end they have their sights set upon the ceruleum processing plant.
How did they manage to get reinforcements from another? Do they have subways in
Having lost
there?
the Empire's support, the 14th Legion lacks the resources to sustain itself. To them, this is a bid for survival, and they will doubtless fight like desperate men.
This also is logistics, which is also cool.
Though I have
Although
dispatched
again,
the Crystal
oh, you're
Braves,
looking sickly,
I
Alpha
fear
now.
their strength alone may not suffice to stay the Imperial assault.
That's interesting. The colors look
Request
better
the
on my
Scion's
second
aid in
monitor.
the defensive effort.
Yeah, the colors look way nicer in the
If
preview,
I didn't
richer,
know
for
better,
sure.
I'd say you were trying to inveigle us into fighting your battle with the promise of shiny crystals. Well then, consider me inveigled. I won't lie, the crystals you speak of sound perfect. So the Garleans have to go.
Sorry, I should have muted before I started
Besides,
fucking with
we
these
can't
settings.
afford to beat about the bush. There's no telling when the Arceans will next appear.
Thine eagerness to hurl thyself into the jaws of danger cometh as little surprise. Exercise due caution, I prithee.
Though you have become a crystal brave, you are yet a scion, Alphino. We could hardly refuse you. Pray, join the Crystal Braves and lend them your support. Thancred and Papalymo shall accompany you. Ida and Y'shtola, in the meantime I would have you assist Moonbreeder. Scout out the crystal clusters, that the testing may commence as soon as the Garlean threat has been eliminated.
If it please you, I shall continue mine own experiments on white orosite.
Thank you, Urianger. Everyone, Pray, see to your preparations and depart as soon as you are able. Go well, and be safe.
Yeah, I don't know. They just look a lot richer on the preview of the recording than they do on this monitor. I was never that happy with the colors on that other monitor either, so I don't know. It's terrible that we have so many color settings on our displays. Who am I to judge? Okay, so we're heading out to deal with some Empire folks, and we're going to test a magic wand in the process. That sounds like the task I was born to do. Did we really have to have the last of the discussion out here, though? Couldn't we have just had it all in there? Ooh, well, of course we did, because everybody's dialogue's going to have changed. For a small organization, we certainly chew through a prodigious amount of foodstuffs. Perhaps I could put a lock on the larder door. We seem to be running low on provisions. I believe an excursion to the marketplace is in order. It seems you've barely arrived before you must once more plunge into the fray. Do use an unforgiving mistress, eh? That the task we tackle would not like to be as realm-shaking, Courtenay and I must also heed her call. I was most eager to join you on the front lines of battle, but as fate would have it, the antecedent had other plans for our talents. I see that the Scions have once more readied themselves for the road. I too must make preparations for an absence from the Rising Stones. Where are you going, Flamen? Don't you get lost again. 'Twould seem that events have once more conspired to rob us of rest and recuperation, though I would wish it were otherwise. I would ask that you head straight away to the processing plant. The 4th will have already deployed to the area and await the arrival of the Scions. Wilred will brief you on the developing situation. Meanwhile, I must rendezvous with Captain Ilbert at the headquarters in Ul'dah. I shall take command of our forces there with a lighter heart, knowing that you go to support the front lines. Maybe you should just let some of your other people in the army level up to level 80. Like, that would really help. Or even 75 seems to be working wonders. Your duties take you to Northern Fanland, do they not? We too must say our farewells to the Rising Stones for a time. Flamen travels to Ul'dah, and we shall serve as her escort. At my daughter's behest, I go to contact certain old acquaintances in the Gilded City. We are beset on all sides by civil unrest and imperial machinations, threatened by primals and troubled by dragons. We need all the allies we can muster. Many of my friends hold positions of power, you see, and it is by hope they can be convinced to aid the Scion's cause. If past events have taught us anything, then we know that Eorzea must present a united front, or we shall fall. Ah, how extraordinary that my little Acilia is involved in such far-reaching affairs. I am proud that I might now stand at her side, not only as a mother, but also as a colleague. A colleague with influential connections, but I fear that Ul'dah has become a place of danger, even for one so familiar with our streets. Oh, woe betide the blackguard that had much is glass in your direction, milady. Oh. I shall be well protected, it seems. Shall we be on our way then? I like these two. Brrr. Oh, this is probably longer than we needed for an exit for these folks. Just gotta remember, this was a small amount of content, relatively speaking, a couple hours doled out over months or a year. I have no idea how long it took to get the patches for 2.x out. I don't know, I'd be curious to look actually, but let's stay on task instead of letting every little thing distract us the way I always do. Looks like we're immediately where we want to be. The music here is so dramatic. I really look forward to getting to new areas and hearing some new tunes. Wilred, you murdered a man. No, that wasn't Wilred. The Johnny Depp character had an eye patch, right? I don't know. Commander of Ear said word you becoming a veteran of your talents is most welcome. Not that I don't think we can handle the situation, mind you. I've learned a trick or two since that disaster with the Amalja. But returning to the task at hand. The Flames reconnaissance scouts have reported Imperial soldiers assembling at Raban's push. Such a force is likely interested in only one thing: getting their hands on the resources found here at the processing plant. The Garleans could begin marching on us at any time. Pray speak with Lieutenant Edelstein, that we might coordinate our counter-strategy. In the meantime, I will inform the others that you've arrived. No doubt it will be welcome tidings. Edelstein. Captain Erwin, my soldiers yet tell tales of your deeds during Operation Archon. Would that we could sit a while and reminisce about old times, but I fear more pressing matters require our attention. The civilian draughtsmen, you see, have come across several highly suspicious crates within the boundaries of the processing plant. I had my sappers take a closer look, and our worst fears were confirmed. These boxes contain powerful explosive devices of Imperial design, no less. By my order, the Flames stationed here are conducting a thorough sweep of the compound as we speak. Though it troubles me we aren't able to apprehend the Imperial spy behind this, I have faith that our men will be able to neutralize the threat for now. In the meantime, our scouts bring troubling news on the latest movements of the Imperial Army. I would once again ask for your aid. On the counteroffensive. We've been keeping a close eye on that Garlean garrison, and it would seem the Imperials have finally begun to mobilize. According to the reconnaissance report that just came in, the squads seem to be seen leaving the castrum are too few in number to effectively take and hold our position. We'll likely mount a swift assault and focus on the acquisition of resources. You know, maybe you should go and offer to let them surrender in exchange for... Well, I guess we can't feed anyone around here. I have, of course, also shared this report with the Crystal Braves. They've decided to take to the field to meet this assault head-on. I've apprised your fellow Scions of the situation, and I'm heartened to know that they will be joining the effort. That is something that's missing from the story, isn't it? There should be a castrum that surrendered. There should be defected Garleans in this story. It's weird that there aren't. You'd really expect the abandoned outposts to start going native. Pray report to Lieutenant Alian. Lend your much welcome strength to the counteroffensive. There, I've now shared that sentiment. Okay. So what are we actually doing? You know, I think I'm in the place where I'm reading but not really processing what's being said. Should have talked to the people first. Oh no, it's too late now. Glad to have you with us, Erwin. She would call us Longpoint. As I'm sure Lieutenant Edelstein has explained, the Garleans have deployed a small force from Castrum Meridianum. Their main column assembles in the north near Dalamud's Talons. We've also spied several squads attempting to conceal themselves on the approach to the west. Bad man, bad man. They wish you to rush forth and commit to battle with the main column, leaving the detached force free to raid the plant and pillage supplies. Not much of a strategy, but these are desperate men. Captain Nilbird. Captain Bad Bird. Sick Bird, they should call you. Greetings, Scion. I understand the commander bid you and your fellows come lend a hand to the Braves. With such mighty heroes at its disposal, the Fourth should have little trouble contending with aught the Garleans might throw at them. But even you cannot be everywhere at once. The Third was getting restless holed up in Ul'dah, so I marched them out here to fill any holes in the plant's defenses and add their numbers to your counterattack. The reinforcements are welcome. We have enough soldiers now to divide our own forces and safely engage the enemy far beyond the walls. It would be best to avoid staging a battle anywhere near this much ceruleum. Let's take this fight to the Garleans.
A wise course indeed. I shudder to think of the consequences should any of these storage tanks be exposed to fire. If there are no objections, the Scions shall join the Fourth and give battle to this main column.
You're with the Third then, Warrior of Light. Your job will be to intercept these squads hiding out in the west and prevent them from reaching the processing plant.
Uh-huh.
You ready to proceed? Report to Lieutenant Yuhaze. His scouts should have a rough idea of where the Imperials have concealed themselves by now. I linked Ehil to a friend of mine, and his comment was that he too had a deep voice. I don't think of this voice that I use here as deep. I think of it as soft. Is it deep? I mean, I definitely feel like there's a range of pitches. It's mostly that it's like raspy. That's the quality about this performance that I enjoy. The sort of intimate, necromantic quality.
As per me lord, my lady's orders, work is underway to seal off ethereal access to the intimate nooks. My fellows and I remain here to the deed.
Wait, what? That was nothing to do with anything. That was, that must have been one of the binding coils, maybe? What was that? I gotta know what that was. I think Erkenrad was the binding coil contact, right? Yeah, that was binding coil. I remembered, sort of, eventually. Pleasure to be fighting at your side once more, Cyan. Our operations invariably succeed when you're around, and victories are wont to pave the road to greater coin. Now, this detached force we've been sent to eliminate is split into smaller squads, the better to conceal themselves in the terrain hereabouts, I imagine. We'll need to split ourselves up as well to cover more ground, and make sure we root out these would-be invaders. Seeing as you're an army unto yourself, I've assigned you your own areas to scour clean of enemy soldiers. This will be a simple search and destroy. We'll rendezvous back here when the task is done. Happy hunting, Cyan. What I really want is just to be graded on every single thing about me by someone who has no investment in me as a person at all. Not interested in my being happy or sad. I'd just like to be generally witnessed. And no human being can ever have that. So we just gotta make do with never really knowing who we are and what we are like. Isn't it weird to think that you have no idea what you're like? Oh wait, that's a hunting target. Why are you a hunting target, my friend? What if I just obliterated you real quick? Any more earthen sprites around? I guess not. Well, we're not going to go out of our way to find them. Don't get distracted. Oh, hey, there we go. Well, that's perfect. They're right here. Goodbye. Hunting log, Gladiator 07, earthen sprites. We got 1,000 experience for that. We only need 22 million for our next level. Perfect, I think. So, like, none of you dudes are getting tired? You don't just want to surrender? God, it would be cool. It would be a really interesting perspective to see. Well, that was it. You seem grim, Cyan. I take that to mean that between us, more than a few Garlean, the between us, what does that mean? Between us or between us? Is it like between your actions and mine, or just between you and me? Is he being coy? Who knows? More than a few Garleans will be making it back to the Castrum. These Imperials, though, they certainly made us earn our pay. I'd be a happy man if I never had to tussle another one of those Magitech horrors. It is time we bid this war-torn land farewell. I will contact the 4th and Lieutenant Elian know the west is now clear. I'd appreciate it if you would do the same when you report to Lieutenant Edelstein. Where is my chat log? I think that my changing the resolution it really confused it. Just got a little bit of that, just in case there's anything interesting if I ever. Report to Edelstein. Où se trouve le commandant? C'est là. Il faut qu'on bavarde, mon frère. Captain Erwin, what news of the Garleans? The raiding parties are no more, then. Excellent. The Amargina engineers will be most relieved to hear that the plant is no longer in any immediate danger. Thank you again for your assistance. Alright, well, that was wasting of time. The uninvited Askian. You must be anxious for word of your fellows. Lieutenant Elian has reported a sound victory over the main column and informs me that the Scions have already turned their attention to other duties. All but one, that is, the Rogaden lady with the large axe. 'Twould appear she's chosen to remain at the site of the battle. I know not what task keeps her from returning to civilization, but northern Thanalan is no place to walk alone, even for a capable sort such as her. I would certainly feel better about things if you could check in on her before you continue on your way. Is that Moonbreeder? She's got an axe? I didn't even notice she had an axe. Not alert. One of the interesting things about, one of the many, many fucked up things that goes through my mind. Oh yeah, that is an axe, I guess. That for sure is an axe. I bet this is voiced, don't you?
Hold on.
It won't be a second, she said.
The beast seemed peckish, so I gave it a taste of my axe.
Whoops. Aren't you a wizard?
I know. As Urianger never tires of reminding me. An axe ill becometh the hand of a scholar. What can I say? I like axes. To hear my mother tell it, I came into this world holding one.
Difficult birth.
And it's not as if it stopped me picking up a quill, is it? I often think of the man who introduced me to the joys of learning. He's one of the reasons I decided to come to Eorzea.
I bet that would have been... what's his name?
My excruciatingly stiff childhood friend.
That must be Urianger.
Considering how unalike we are, it's a wonder we ever got on. The world's a strange old place, isn't it?
The mentor must be, what's his name, right? Granddad?
Aye, that ought to do it.
What's his name? Louisoix. I have to remember things just to prove to myself that I can. I'm so anxious about the state of my memory that I can't just let things go.
So far, so good. At these concentrations, it shouldn't matter too much if something goes awry.
I guess it depends on what that is, doesn't it?
Interesting.
I guess we'll see if you're gonna cause a nuclear explosion.
The way the crystal glowed?
Actually, I was looking
Aside from
down.
marks, I'm happy to say.
For real.
A few refinements, it should satisfy our appetite for ether, which just leaves the small matter of forging our blade. I'm not sure how to go about it just yet, but I swear to find a way. I'll put a blade in your hands if it's the last thing I do.
Thank you. So we didn't come with that loud. Wouldn't that have been the smart part to start with? Because you can.
He senses me.
Uh-oh.
A useful talent.
Oh, it's me, another indistinguishable Askin. A wizard?
Hanassian, are they onto us?
I mean, they've known every single thing we've done.
I see you are an Archon of Sharlayan, keeper of knowledge, seeker of truth. Meddler.
That's where we're going in Endwalker,
I don't
Sharlayan.
know what the hell's you're saying, but I don't much like your tone.
That's like a good lyric.
Your instincts serve you well.
Never understood a word he was saying, but he always had some mighty fine
That lovely
tone.
brow was not made for frowns. But I waste my breath.
You should smile more, you'd be prettier. I'm sorry.
Let me
You
direct
should
my
smile,
words
you'd
to
be
one who
prettier.
understands them.
Is he looking directly into the
We
camera?
meet at last, warrior of light. I am Nabriales.
Got bad news for you, Nabriales. I think that you're the disposable
and you have
Askian.
long been a thorn in my side. I suffered the overweening presence of Lahabrea that men might host the power of gods, only for you to undo my hard work.
So did we kill Lahabrea or did he escape in the end? I think we killed him, right? He was downed.
Oh, bugger.
Do settle down. You must concede that I acted in self-defense.
Well, I mean, you're a pretty threatening presence.
I do not sense the blessing of life.
Yeah, I got Dragonbox.
Oh dear. Could it
Sorry.
be that frail Hydaelyn has forgotten her champion? This I did not foresee.
Huh? Recalibrate your sensors, friend.
As you are,
Shorn of the
no
dead.
longer a threat. And better yet, the seal is broken.
What does that mean? Please tell me what that
Now is
means.
the time to claim the staff.
And that must be Louisoix's
With
staff,
it in my
right?
grasp, I shall rise above them all and take my place at Lord Zodiac's right hand.
Okay, so the Askians definitely struggle for power among themselves. This is what fucking apes do.
What
We
did
seek
that bastard
status.
want with us?
Why?
Meow.
Nobrialis, he calls himself. With charm like that, I'll bet he has maidens falling at his feet, unconscious.
Not the
What's
funniest
this
line in this game,
You say
but
just
the
talking
bar is
about
high.
it had the bastard grinning like a brat on his name day. Must be quite a staff.
There's only the one. There is only the one in the story.
Gods, he means Tupsimati, Master Louis
We'd
Soir's
wrong.
staff.
Yeah, okay, she figured it out.
Ninfilia's in danger. We have to get back to the Rising Stones.
Why do we ever leave it, honestly? I mean, it's just so comfortable there. Feng shui out here in Northern Thailand is terrible, but the furniture is immaculately manicured back in the Rising Stones. If I'm right, and the Ashkin is after Tupsimati, that's a good fucking name, Tupsimati, we best make all haste back to the Rising Stones. Minfilia must be warned. Yes, that sounds like a very good plan. Let's just go there right now. Zoop. Here we are. You're here. You're here. We were just doing her voice a second ago. Master Louis Soir's staff is kept in the Solar, isn't it? Quickly now. The load screens are inelegantly deployed here. They could definitely have loaded that entire little set there.
You too.
Oh, right. Yes, Minfilia, go on. We're listening. It's Dr.
So, you
Spooky.
were able to divine my intent.
No, you told
What
us,
now,
dude.
Warrior of light. Ah, but that name is no longer fitting. You have become decidedly dull and quite incapable of barring my entry.
Why did you come down to visit us in a random place and tell us what you were about to do?
What do you mean?
You truly do not know.
Oh, wait, I thought that we told her.
Then I suppose it is only right that I enlighten you.
I'm pretty sure we told, or did we tell only,
The blessing of light kept you and your fellow meddlers safe. It was that which prevented my kind from entering your domain.
Huh. Was that true? Because we definitely had
My
an
kind,
Askian
I
show
say,
up.
Though it had no power over the
Ah,
likes
okay.
of Elidibus and La Habrea.
There you
Being
go.
of this world, they could come and go as they please, while I could only look on.
So the Askians do recruit? That's wild. That's not what I thought.
Now that the seal is gone, I mean to act. Unlike the others, I am not given to waiting. I shall take that staff and bring about the next rejoining.
No, we're gonna have to stop you
Rejoining?
doing that. I hate his
Then it was
mutton
your
chops.
doing. The Isle of Val, the scholars, all of it.
Wait, was it? Hang on, does that follow? I mean, it probably was, but...
You will not harm her!
Moonbreeder. Whoa! Damn! Damn!
Why must you insist on forcing my hand? Did you learn nothing from our last meeting?
Seconds ago.
Ah, but I forget. My words fall upon deaf ears.
You ever listen to a vocal performance and you're totally fine with it?
A broken relic, a memorial to the departed. What possible use could you have for it?
Yeah, I bet that it has powers beyond your ken, girl. That's my guess.
What use? You mean to say that all this time you kept the key, never knowing what it was you possessed?
Numbriales, you just have a disorder. Stop telling your enemies everything.
Or rather, the stone tablet it bears is host to a great power.
You don't have to tell us any of this, dude. You didn't have to tell us you were coming here.
It can be used to draw vast quantities of ether from its bearer's surroundings.
With the horn? Is
How
the
else
horn
do
a
you think
Tusamadi?
Yuri Swa was able to invoke the power of the 12 without making them an offering of crystals? Summoning requires not only prayer, but a profusion of ether. Even a child knows that.
I don't know about that. The dynamics of
If I
summoning
did
are clearly
know
not well
before, you
understood.
may be certain I do now. But above all, I know that we cannot allow this staff to fall into your hands. I will die before I let you take it.
It's a little incoherent here, I think.
Insufferable woman. I would happily end your miserable life here and now. Alas, Elidibus would never let me hear the end of it. Very well. If you will not part with the staff, I will take you too.
Whoa. You could just take it from her, though. I mean, you don't actually... I assume you're taking her because she's useful to have as a hostage. Otage. Wie sagt man hostage auf Deutsch? Genommen. The taken. Not sure what the... excuse me. When you're evoking that concept of the taken, I'm not sure what you say in German.
After them! Quickly! Before the rift closes!
Oh wow, you're just sending me right the fuck in? Well, you need to tell me how to form a blade of ether. Ma'am. Ma'am. But to my point, you ever listen to a vocal performance which is like just fine, it's not classic like this dude's here, and then you kind of really focus on it and you realize
It just sounds very silly, and it's the kind of voice that one might do if one was sounding silly, and it's the context that makes it sound like it's sort of real.
Moonbreeda, do you need a tissue? Forget about me, go. Okay, well, I guess we're about to go confront Nabriales. This looks to me like this is the... Yeah, we're really closing on the end here. Wait, no, we're not gonna do it for real. Fuck that. We're just gonna go in and fucking smash him. Who do you think we are? Have you seen the way that we play this game? Please. The Chrysalis, a ruthless Askian known as Nabriales, has intruded upon the sanctum of the Signs of the Seventh Dawn, spiriting away both the antecedent and the powerful relic she refused to yield. Pursue the Paragon through the dimensional rift and prize Minfilia and Tup-Samadi from his tenebrous grasp. Sure, that sounds easy enough. I'm always ready to pry. Yee, spooky place. Here I am. Big tongue. Ethereal rift, the Chrysalis. Wow. He must have wanted us to come here, right? He left the gate open. Never seen that before. Hey, you. What's that mask styled after? Oh, it must just be like the symbol of Zodiac, right? Which is the... That would make sense. Duty commenced. Okay, this is a pretty cool little room that we're in. Where the chairs are around here. Alright, Nabriales. You're very tall.
I shall not toy with you, as does La Habrea. Witness the true might, the terrible might of a true servant of Zodiac.
He sparked me. Holy shit. Wasn't ready for that. This is getting real.
I weary of this plodding pace.
Spark again. I'm just dumping my mana on this boy. We all out? I think we're tapped. Oh, he left. Okay. Requiescat.
Writhing powers of ruination from the deepest pits of the abyss, I summon thee.
Am I supposed to be doing something right now? Oh, probably get that orb. Let me touch the orb. Oh. Aha! Shadow Sprite. Oh, are there a bunch of them? Oh, shit. Well, hopefully this isn't going to be a wipe mechanic. if he, Solace Burst. Is he becoming immensely strong? That's my question. Where we at, buddy? Maybe we should become invulnerable.
Insatiable hunger of the void, devour all light and return this world to perfect darkness.
Yeah, unfortunately, I invulned. Whoa, where'd you go? Buddy, come back here. Ooh, this is gonna be fancy, I bet.
Shriveled in apocalyptic flame.
Good line. Double. What does double do? The next action will be executed twice. He's just gonna spark me twice. Very good. He's
Swift shall be your destruction.
spark. Get that dot on him again. Goring Blade, I guess, does like immense damage. Very good deal, damn it up.
Royal authority.
So because we dropped our resolution, I hope that the end of days, hope the frame rate is behaving itself a little better than it was before. Don't do the circle thing again, buddy. I will shout at you. That is a very fancy particle effect. These raid encounters really are just beautiful in a way that, you doing the thing again? Come on, buddy. I don't have another invuln, so this better not just kill me. That's all I have to say. This orb is a different color than the other. It's just while they're spawning, they're green, I guess. I'm just gonna step on them all. I'm not afraid. Just give me a physical vulnerability and just one stack. That's nothing. Wish I could tell exactly what's happening, though. Just for curiosity's sake. And if this is gonna one-shot us, then I'm gonna scowl.
Nabriales. Gonna boom.
Yep. Unfortunately, the cooldown on our invulnerability is gone, so... Dark 4 was the spell. Very cool. Quake 2. Quake 3, actually, but,
I shall turn the very ground against you.
yeah, I'd hope so. This is your house, right? Keep going. End of days. Yeah, I want to get a good look at that when he casts it, because it's fancy. Quake 3. It's a very funny name for something. There was finally a Quake 3, wasn't there? What was it like? I wasn't even aware of it when it came out. Big fan of Quake 1. A flawed game, but very cool.
By Zodiac's name I command thee, rivers of time, mire mine enemies in thy sluggish throw.
Impossible! He has power over time itself. Well... Whoa!
You shall wither in the merciless embrace of eternity.
Well, that does seem likely, because now we're in white space. Oh, I should probably stand over here, you think? Or is this bad? Oh, maybe this is bad, maybe. Maybe we should stand here. Comet, ow. Is this meteor? 18% blocked, yeah. So this is all that we're supposed to do, not stand under those? That seems simplistic. What's this little dark patch here? This little rift. I bet it's like a shared soak thing where you're supposed to put like 3 people in one, 3 people in one, 3 people in one kind of situation. What is this? Extend. Temporal flow is disrupted. I hope this isn't just going to last for... Oh, there we go. Yeah, so we got the comets hitting, and then this is going to be a meteor. Oh boy. That is intimidating. Kaboom! Wait, did it kill me? That looked like I died. That kind of looked like I died. I think I died. I died. Fuck. Okay, hang on. God damn it. That was a long fight to lose. Maybe we should just do it fair. What are we supposed to do to stop it? Oh, apparently there was an ad that we just didn't see. It wasn't attacking us. That is a DPS check. I'll spare you the run up to that part of the fight. Back in a minute. Alright, we're going to time hell. He has power over time itself? Take me into Timeland, please. Now, in theory, there is an ad. I got a little ting as of being one targeted. Where is the ad, though? There is an ad. It's not here. Where is it? Where is the ad? Where is the thing that we need to kill? Ah, there we go. Ethereal Terror. Okay. I wonder if every one of them is going to leave one. Yeah, we saw this thing in the air. We tried to click on it. It wasn't clickable, I think. Listen, I'm not going to say that I was right. Not going to claim that I was right and the game was wrong. That's simply not my style. Still, we wouldn't have wiped if the game hadn't been wrong. Just pointing that out, you know, just so everyone knows that we are pure and good and kind. And Final Fantasy XIV is horny jail.
But you are shorn of a blessing? How can this be?
Secret Askin Man.
Meow. Meow.
Boink. Oh. So there was an observation that I was trying and failing to make a while ago, which is that I am incredibly unobservant, I think, when playing games. Even after playing through Dark Souls twice on recordings and really trying to focus on place, when I go in there and actually look around myself and look up and look out and away, there's just always stuff and relationships that I see in all of the games that I don't really notice because you're so focused head down, and even if you weren't, I think my brain tends to see what's in front of it and not really take in the situation, the scene all that much. I think being stoned, I kind of back away a little bit and do see, oh wow, this is a fucking crazy environment that I'm standing in. Just the descent down to the woods in Bloodborne, the life such as it is of the trees around you. And it's also like I find myself thinking about how empty these places are, that we're moving through places. My thanks. Sure. These spaces are like, they're all places that people lived for the most part. I mean, they're not residential areas mostly, but they're places people lived, and now they're just empty and hostile. My thanks. Yeah, just keep saying it, man. Empty and hostile. I mean, especially in Bloodborne, right? You're just in a city for most of it. And that city is like strangely quiet, except that it's also crawling with life. And it's so easy to focus on it as a game that it's hard to think about it as a space. But looking out over Yharnam and seeing cityscapes in the distance, some of which you can reach and some of which you can't, is quite profound. And to think, look, just across that way there, across that gap, there's a part of Yharnam where we never go. Is everyone dead there? Are they all beasts? Have they succumbed to the plague? Are things more normal there? Is everyone there armed too? Are they patrolling the streets? Are they inside having their final parties and then spilling out onto the road in their screaming, teeming dozens when the change comes over them? It's impossible to know, and it's a kind of profound sense of mystery that there are these places that seem so empty and yet so many closed doors that could have busy minds and bodies behind them. I don't know. It's very rewarding to look around yourself. And the reason I say this is that I wanted to look at this thing. This statue. And I wish I could get a little bit of a better look at it. So it looks humanoid, and it looks quite different from the Zodiark mask that appears, the material one or the glowing one, the particle effect mask. I don't know. It's intriguing. It's intriguing. Let us continue to do our best to pay attention to our surroundings. I will attempt to hone this skill. Even this old dog can learn new eyes. Ooh, Moonbreeder.
Thank the 12.
So we didn't. Did we magic kill him somehow? Boom. Ooh, no. So he's escaping. So was this all to show? Whoa.
I've been deposited by my feet.
You may have bested me this day, but what of the next? What of all the days to come?
So you just came back in the same mutton choppy body as before? Oh no, I see. The other body was someone else. Some blonde. He was just made to look like him, and this must also be some dud body that he's grabbing.
No longer holds sway here.
Just a blank that keeps sitting around.
Wish, again and again and again. Eventually, you will falter, and the staff will be mine. Until next time, Scion.
I mean, they didn't bother giving you a cool voice. You kind of sound like an anime villain, like of the week. So I think that you're about to get object lessoned, unfortunately for you. Doesn't this only work when they're in the orb form, though? Or maybe he is in orb form now. That's why he. Who knows?
There will be no next time. This is the end.
Step into my ghost box. Wow, okay. Which is highly conductive.
I'm in a little cage.
Or the little cage is in me. On me?
What
trickery is this?
No. No. Cannot. No.
That was a fair moment for a big no, I think. It's kind of goofy. Ting.
Use Tube Samati to gather ether. Quickly, before he breaks free.
Yeah, we didn't know it could do that before, but now we know that it can and how to do it. I mean, the Warrior of Light is very good.
Concentrate. Call to mind the time you struck down La Habrea with the Blade of Light.
Yeah, okay, we did get La Habrea with the Blade of Light. We handled that situation.
Meow. Meow.
Why won't it work? Is it because we lack the blessing of light?
This is not the best written patch.
So much ether. And it still isn't enough.
Fools! No mortal prison can contain me. I shall make you pay for your insolence.
Go ahead, guys. Go ahead. It's fine. Just make us pay for our insolence. It's alright.
Please, Mother Heidelin, hearken to our plea. Lend us your divine light. Why can you not hear us? Do our words no longer reach you?
If only we had a bit more ether.
Are you sure that's the problem? I mean...
Moonbreeder, what are you doing?
Unto thy hands I commend my spirit.
Understand now the choice you made. In death, there is life. Farewell, Urianger.
The Phoenix.
You daft old coot.
Moonbreeder, no! You mustn't!
They gave her exactly the right character design for this to have impact. Exactly the kind of person who...
It cannot end!
Maybe not at the time this was released.
I am eternal! I am immortal!
Seems like maybe they should have had that voice line trail off into an effect, like as he was being unraveled. You can do so much to make voice work sound better with just a little bit of effects, like. And I mean, obviously, professionals would have much more to say on this than my goofy amateur ass, but.
Moonbreeder. She's gone.
I don't know if the internet at the time was into sort of butch women in the way that it is now, but certainly now that Moonbreeder design is perfect for the role that she fills in this story.
You did it.
For to
my
come in
friend.
and charm people,
The Ascian is dead.
and then do the big sacrifice. Yeah, I felt that. It was real.
This device is a legacy of Moonbreeder's toils and sacrifice.
We didn't
I
really
shall
even
hold
use
on
it.
to it for safekeeping.
Yeah, we didn't use it though. We used Louis Suarez. We should probably just integrate Louis Suarez's dingus into it, right? We could pull from.
I am.
Oh, we were surveying northern Thanalan when we received the distress call.
Mm-hmm.
We returned as swiftly as we were able.
God, I'm glad we turned music back on for this cutscene.
As you have everything in hand, however.
Would not have been good if it had been without.
What happened here? Where is Moonbreeder?
She is one with the planet, I'm afraid.
She gave her life to temper the Blade of Light. I have no words.
Rather than await the inevitable, she took her fate into her own hands.
Does Urianger know?
My friend, there is something I must tell you.
I heard all, my lady. The moon sinketh, taking her leave of the heavens, yet her passing heraldeth the coming of a new day. Moonbreeder hath fulfilled her destiny, hath she not?
I guess, man. Is that it? That's all you got to say?
Long ago, far across the seas in the Sharlayan motherland, Moonbreeder and I did study under the sage tutelage of Master Louis Suarez. Full oft did he impress upon us that knowledge existeth to serve the greater good. This sentiment, however, was contrary to the nation's policy of neutrality, which censured intercedence in the affairs of foreign lands. In spite of vehement opposition, he founded the Circle of Knowing, and journeyed hitherto the heart of Eorzea. Through his noble sacrifice was the realm spared its doom. Yet this great soul, whom all should rightly have honored, was branded a pariah in his own land. His peers did accuse him of forsaking his duty as a man of learning, and of meddling in the course of history.
History.
When he left Sharlayan behind, Master Louis Suarez gave no word to signal his intent to Moonbreeder. Close as they were, as master and disciple, she was deeply wounded by the sudden exclusion from his confidence.
We are all amid history.
Above all, however, she was confused. Try as she might, she could ill comprehend her master's motive. The slanders that were heaped upon him after his passing served only to inflame the turmoil within her. For years upon end, she knew not what to believe. Torn as she was twixt the man whom she revered and the man who forsook her and his duty both.
The Louis Suarez I knew would never forsake his duty, much less one of his own.
This I know full well, my lady. 'Twas not for want of love that Master Louisoix hid his intent. He but desired that Moonbreeder discover her own path, free of the shadow of his influence. Long did I
It's not possible,
revealing
dude.
the truth to her, and long did I hold my peace. After all, was it not Master Louisoix's wish that she come to the truth unaided?
Which truth? That we are not
I told
islands.
myself it was, and resolved to let her suffer. Knowingly did I deny my friend the comfort she craved. And now she hath gone to her rest, with doubt still in her heart. Speakest thou in earnest? Did Moonbreeder truly come to understand Master Louisoix's will before the end?
The Phoenix.
The realization hath set her free. She may now find the peace which hath for so long eluded her. Oh, Moonbreeder, my dearest, how I shall miss thee.
Moonbreeder gave her life that we might possess the means to defeat the Ascians. Her sacrifice must not be in vain. Let us continue her work on the Blade of Ether and see it to completion.
My lady, I would mourn Moonbreeder in mine own way. I beg your permission to return to the Waking Sands.
Of course, my friend. Take all the time you require. We shall be here should you have need of us.
There's a chapter in Only You Can Save Mankind called No One Really Dies, which is about how in the surrendered alien fleet that Johnny is escorting home in his dreams, when other players fly out in game space far enough that they actually encounter the retreating fleet and shoot them down, he rejects. His responsibility to them says it doesn't matter that they're being destroyed. Just because he'd failed to protect them, he'd agreed to, and not done very well, and the captain calls him up and gently says, many of her people are suffering. Johnny protests that no one really dies. The story is also about drone strikes, about how a generation of young men are being trained by games to drop bombs down chimneys in Desert Storm with pinpoint precision. No one really dies. The question of who is a real person, is a person real if they seem real, is one that games present to us constantly and demand that we shut down our empathic faculties over. The people we fight have to not be people, and yet the quest is there to make them ever more real, to make them look and act and die more realistically. No one really dies. She was counting on the theory that a soul's ether burns brightest at the moment of its passing. Scholar until the very end. Oh man, I miss you so much already. Would that we'd arrived a few moments sooner. Just a few moments. My list of grievances against the Askians was already overlong, as they continue to add to it. Never have I seen Urianger so utterly defeated. No one should be made to suffer such grief. Shall gather in the Sharlayan Manor to celebrate Moonbreeda's life and mourn her passing. And that, I believe, is the end of 2.5. In memory of Moonbreeda. No, I think this must be the last one. As Moonbreeda was a native Sharlayan, I feel it only fitting that we gather before we mark up the scholar. Are you familiar with the stone? It is a monument found at Wraithfrost and is sacred to Thaliak, guardian deity of the City of Learning. There shall we pray for our dear friend the soul, and bid her a peaceful return to the light of the Mother Crystal. Let's head over there. You know, I think it's actually really good design that Final Fantasy XIV has all of these areas that you can fly over but not land on. I don't think that's the case in World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is like, you can fly there, if it's a flat surface, you could dismount in the air, right? Because they don't let you dismount in the air, there can be non-walkable spaces you can still cruise over, which means that this sort of traversable space, yeah, this is a scene, I remember this scene. I was remembering there was something like this that was going to happen. I can't remember exactly what's going to happen, but I think it affected me somewhat the first time, so forgive me if my voice should crack. Scholar's Stone.
Forgive me, Moonbreeda. Had I been quicker or wiser. But I was not, and you paid the price. But you would not suffer us to wallow in our sorrow, would you? You would tell us to pick ourselves up and get on with it. And so we shall. We shall defend this realm and her people to the last.
It's Midge.
For death, a fair exchange. Other bargains will be struck.
Is the implication here that it wasn't her ether that did it, but the presence and intervention of Midgard Zarmir in her death, empowering the final destruction of the Askian? Could be. Many mysteries. I thought there was something more that happened here than that, but maybe not. We've still got a lot to go in 2.55, but we'll be getting to that when we get to it. I think it's time to wrap for the evening. Anyone around? The rising stones feel somehow colder. Moonbreed always carried with her such an abundance of warmth and cheer. We must find some means of protecting ourselves from Askian intrusions. There must be a way. It's very hard to do these characters' voices in a way that isn't silly. I don't feel much like talking at the moment. You could just give me some time. The ultimate challenge.
I loathe to see Ida in such pain, but I have not the words to comfort her. Can you imagine it? I, Papalaimo, one who has an elegant comment for every situation. I'm at a loss for words.
An eloquent comment. Oh, we managed it. We managed it. We made our goofy voices a little bit, a little bit serious. Feeling it. I don't like to be manipulated cheaply by games, but I feel like Moonbreed was very well handled there. The character was on screen very little, made a pretty serious impact, definitely made an impression. And yeah, it's real. No one really dies. Though we've said our farewells, the pall of sadness has diminished but little. Forgive me. As antecedent, 'tis my job to be the pillar of strength for all others to lean on. Yet I also believe the grief we feel now is precious in its own way, and not to be lightly swept aside. Do you not agree, Erwin? It's as if a dagger has been thrust into my breast. But 'tis a pain we must learn to bear if we are to forge ahead with our duty. The battles we've fought have taken the lives of so many. Louisoix, Moonbreed, fellows of the Waking Sands. Their spirits and dedication to our cause, though, will never be lost as long as we rise to fight once more. I hardly need remind you of this, of course. It is for my own benefit that I repeat these words, a reaffirmation of mine own chosen path. If I do not rebuild the foundation of my resolve, I'm like to collapse in a fit of weeping. My apologies again, Erwin. There is no other to whom I could display such weakness. You are my pillar of strength, and I fear I shall have need of your steadfast presence in the days to come. See, this is why it would be fucking crazy to skip any of the story. Because a victory won, a comrade lost. To honor the fallen, the living forge ever on towards the light of a new day. Because the game leans heavily on your relationship with these characters, and I know what it feels like when characters congratulate you for something that you never did. World of Warcraft loves to do that shit. Going through all of this, it is certainly fair that we have been with these people through a bunch of bullshit at this point. And it is not unreasonable that they should see us in a certain light. So we are reaffirming our own purpose to get through every goddamn line of this fucking benighted game. It's a pretty good game, I think. Pretty good game. A little hard to play sometimes. A lot to get through. And it's longer than I thought. It's a pretty good game. See you soon.